Well met. Hey, what's going on? It's Tech Maki, and this is my Vision series for Tilith. Now, Tilith is a character from Brave Frontier, and is available right now in the collab between that game and Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. She is a goddess in the world of Grand Gaia, and she serves the god of the gate, Lucius, and also assists the player, or the summoner, in his or her journey through Grand Gaia. Now, much can be said about Tilith. She is a very kind and affectionate soul. Just being in her presence really just forces people to laugh or smile. She's just got this innocence about her that makes that happen. She's almost childlike in some aspects. But her power as a goddess is real. She has performed numerous acts of I guess, godly power, or numerous miracles to protect the player. And even though she has been saved a couple times by the player, she's shown that her power is real. And you see it further as the player continues through the story of Brave Frontier. Eventually, they do confront Lucius and end up defeating him, leaving Tilith in her own, I guess, volunteer way to protect the gate. Now she becomes the warden of that gate. The only reason she can do such is because she has that goddess power. She does end up leaving the party because of this activity she needs to now perform, essentially permanently. But she does continue to assist the player through either means of teleportation or whatever. Anyway, she's available in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius now, as I said. She comes in as a 4-star character, which is not the best because of the other 4-star characters on the banner, making her already the chance of getting a 4-star crystal, and then the chance of that breaking and going into Tilith, divided by the other banner characters, kind of sucks. Thankfully, I got mine on the first Brave Frontier banner, and as you can see with my recent pulls, wasn't looking very good for a while there. But anyway, she does get an upgrade to 5-star. That was kind of her cap back on the first banner. Now that the second one is here, she does go to 6-star, which makes her essentially the best healer in the game, at least in my opinion. Anyway, she comes to the game as a goddess to, reminiscent of her title, her job in Brave Frontier, and she fills the role of healer and support. She does both of these extremely well, in my opinion. And her best stats are MP and Spirit. Now we're going to talk about her kit, her abilities. We're going to talk about the most useful, even though I think they all have, most of her abilities are worth mentioning. But she has no spells. She is entirely a ability-based healer, which kind of changes things a little bit. But you don't need dual cast on her really, so it's great the way they set her up. It really, it's like an emphasis on the fact that she is a goddess. So anyway, first skill we're going to talk about is Pretty Steel. It's a remove all status effect from one enemy, so it's essentially Dispel. And then you have Goddess's Miracle, which is heal to all allies, 1k plus. The plus indicates a modifier, HP, and it also cures all status ailments except for stone. So this is a pretty good Asunda. Then we have Celestial Light, which is attack, defense, magic, spirit up by 40% to all allies, lasts for 3 turns. Awesome skill right there. And then we have Rainbow Veil, all elemental resistance up by 40% except for dark. So she can slap that in there. It's almost like a lower level Love You All from Mary. But it lasts for 3 turns and goes to all allies. Great skill right there as well. Then you have Affectionate Aura, status break resistance up by 100% to all allies, lasts for 3 turns. I think she's one of the only characters in the game that has something like this, where she can prevent your characters from being, magic broken or defense broken. It's actually really nice. Then we have Sealed Light, which is remove all status effects from all enemies. So we have a Dispelga, greatness. Then we have Prism Heal, restore HP, 2.5k, and restore MP, 50 MP, to all allies except for the caster. So this is essentially what Ling does with her dance skill, except it's better. It gives more MP, gives more gives HP. A really nice skill. So if you don't need to cast a heal during that turn, you can always beef your team back up, and hopefully you'll have enough MP afterwards to keep going. Then you have Radiant Light, which is a full heal for the entire party. Awesome. And then you have Goddess's Revelation. Revive all KO'd allies. 100% HP. Also awesome. So she can keep your people alive, and then she can get them back up and get them back into a fight, or into the fight with full HP. Nothing better. Then we have Pretty Ore, which is auto regen for herself, 120 HP per turn with a little bit of modifier there. And then you have Eternal Rainbow, which is essentially auto refresh, except hers is better. You know, maybe because she's a goddess. Recover MP 10% every turn. Awesome, just awesome. And then you have Sacred Ground, decrease the chance of her being targeted 75%. Also great, because this allows hopefully the tank not to need to guard her that much. Now we're going to move on to her Limit Burst. The Limit Burst isn't the best, but it is definitely useful, I think, in certain situations. It can, well, let's go ahead and get into it. It's called Celestial White. It's heals 2k HP, LB gauge fill rate up by 100% for 3 turns, and cures Poison, Silence, and Paralyze for 1 ally. So I think this is, I see this being used on, say, Wilhelm. You know, if you have him in your party, you can use that in order to get his LB up faster, because, you know, his is a fantastic LB. Plus, it's giving some HP, and if he's already paralyzed or something, hey, whatever, you know what I mean? Next up, we're going to move to her TMR. Now, we should all, most of us know it from Brave Frontier banner 1, the collab 1, but either way, this was the original Materia ribbon. This is called Goddess's Protection. It's an 8-star Materia, and it's a, immunity to all status ailments. Really great TM. The only thing it doesn't have from ribbon essentially are these stats, a little bit of stats that come with the ribbon. But this is a fantastic TM, and this is another chance to get it in case you didn't pick up 7, or you know, have Tilith from back on the first collab. Now we're gonna move into the Espers. There are really right now 2 Espers that I would recommend using on her. You could slap anything else on her if you really wanted to, but these 2 Espers I think are great. And when we do get the content upgrade or update with Lakshmi, she could also probably be slid in there as another Esper for her to use. But currently we're going to go with Shiva and Carbuncle. Of course, Carbuncle because he is the support Esper, and Shiva, she was the original support Esper, even though you could definitely use, her primary role was probably as a mage Esper. But she was the original. We used to slap her on there. So of course we're going to use these 2. So first build we're going to go into is going to be a well, actually it's not the first build. We have 3 builds tonight, or today. One of them is going to be low end. We have a high end build, and we have a high end for the arena. So we're going to cover the low end build first, which I think is called Warden of the Gate. Yes, Watcher of the Gate. There we go. So either way, HP 400, or HP is 4,361. MP is 349. Your defense 218, kind of low, but taking little hits, I guess. Magic meh, 245. Spirit 330, so you can actually take some magical damage and not die there. Gear wise, you're gonna be using the Army Shield, Tabby Suit, Domination Ring ×2, Cat Ear Hood, Azure Helm. Which the Azure Helm you can definitely switch out if you don't have that materia for, say, an MP plus 10, or you know, something else that gives more MP. And then you have your Equip L Shield, so that you can equip the Army Shield. HP plus 15%, Shard of Genius, which I'm including that because most people should have used Total's TM by now if you played during both of the Final Fantasy XIV raids, or at least the Titan one. It was dropping like hotcakes. So this is a pretty good build, I think, for a low end, a budget looking budget build. Either way, maximum pots. We have 4,965 HP, 453 MP, which now covers your requirement without getting any extra refresh on your character to cast. I think it's Radiant Light. I think that's the one that does the full cure. Without it costing any MP at all. So that's I think is the key part to the whole build right there, is making sure that your character can cast that full cure without having any issues. And of course the whole AoE revive, party revive, is 70 MP, so you're almost there. You can do it a couple times without having to worry. Either way, I think it's a pretty good build. Spirit's gone a little bit higher so that you can take more damage. We're going to move into the high-end build now. It's called Lucius's Emissary. It is 4,709 or 79 HP, 440 MP, so you're almost there on unpotted. You're going to have 398 spirit, so your magical defense, your modifiers for other things should be pretty high. And your defense is at 260, so you're getting up there pretty good. Elemental resistances are better than what the previous build had, but both builds are going to be dark deficient. You're going to be taking a little bit more dark damage, so you need to prepare for that. If depending on the fight, you might want to switch out, of course, to Shiva or somebody else. Gear-wise, you're going to be using the Imperial Shield, which you're going to be getting from Wilhelm to get that spirit increase, the Rainbow Robe for more resistances, more good stuff. Soul of Tomasa is probably something somebody, or most people, didn't think about farming because of the fact that it has the dual cast, and a lot of people don't really care much about getting dual cast, especially on Tilith, but it's more for the MP plus 30% that is available on it. I think the next best piece after that would be Grace's TM. I don't know why I can't remember the name of it at the moment, but I think that's 25% spirit, or I'm sorry, magic MP. Anyway, this is a pretty good piece for her, plus it allows her to also, if you wanted to, along with the Ring of Lucii, say you just need to do a little damage out there, you can cast double or Alterna, wait a few turns, as just casting regular things if you really need to. Whatever, you have options, in my opinion. Then you're going to be using the Equip H shield, so you can have your Imperial Shield on. You're going to stick, of course, with Cat Ear Hood. That is just an amazing piece of gear that you can get from the Fat Chocobo. 2 loves from Rem and Discernment, or it doesn't really have to be Discernment. It could also be Goddess's Protection, her own TM. I would probably recommend that even more, since then you don't have to worry about getting 7 if you don't, but most of us probably had more 7s than we did Tiliths back in the day, so you can just throw that on there. Fully potted is very nice. You have 576 MP. Now you're getting back 57 MP every turn, probably 58 if it rounds up. Your HP is at 5,442. So you should be able to take pretty good damage there. You should be able to survive a lot of attacks. Your defense is now at 286, Spirit 438, Magic 249. Now, like I said, with that whole Eterna thing, it's not really going to matter all that much because your Magic is extremely low. But if you just want to do a little extra damage with it, you got a turn to spare, whatever. I think it still works, and of course she's gonna have evasion at 25% because of the Ring of Lucii, so it should help out with her survival even further. The last build we're gonna do, of course, is going to the arena. It's very similar to this build, but we're taking off the shield and we're gonna slap in some miracle steps to get a little bit more evasion. You could sacrifice the miracle steps and put in say evade or something if you wanted to put in higher evasion percentages. I went with this to keep her MP higher, or at least high enough. So you're going to be using the miracle steps instead of an H shield in one of those spots, and of course the rest will be the same. You just won't have one of the loves. Now you could also slap on a double love if you really wanted to, still, and then just leave the Equip H shield off, put in the miracle step. You'll be at 30% evasion. But this is very, very similar to what I use in the arena. She usually with Ring Lucii at 303 MP, I'm sorry, magic, she can hit maximum damage because of the fact that Alterna is a 5 times the multiplier. So most enemies will usually get hit for the full amount, and you still have access to a great healer or somebody who can just get all your people up instantly. So I think this is a pretty good build, and of course with using Shiva as opposed to Carbuncle, you reduce or you get rid of, you completely eliminate the fact that she's going to be 50%, I guess, or susceptible to damage from dark damage. Now she is completely immune to ice damage, and she has a pretty good range of just being, she's going to take regular damage, of course with the high spirit modifier. And then with full pots, she has 603 MP, so that's 6 Alternas, not even counting how much you can do if you say you have a long drawn out fight, you just can't kill this person. You can cast Alterna pretty much almost every turn, dual casting that for a while. I want to say 3 or 4 rounds, just done deal. Your HP is at 4,493 HP. I think it's pretty good for the arena. She doesn't get attacked that much, kind of, due to her own passive. But yeah, I think it's pretty strong. That 35% evasion is just, it's just awesome in my opinion, because just with 25% she still evades a lot. 35%, the more you put on her, the better off she's going to be in the arena. Anyway, if you liked the video, or you wanted to comment about, you know, the build, you want to get into some deep discussions, go ahead and make a comment down in the section below. Besides that, if you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. You can always subscribe for future content. I am back. I got my scenes now a little bit more set up, a little cleaner. So hopefully I'll be making more videos in the future. We can get back on that regular video grind. And of course, if you want to check me out live or support my my main profession, you can hit me up on Twitch. I am a partner streamer there. So yeah, hope to be making more videos in the future. Hope to see you guys there. Maki out.